僕はバカだ。こんな安らぎをもらってるのに自分に嘘がつけない。
So first off, my friends, I want to start by saying this was a really good episode of Danmachi. This was episode number 8 of season 5, and I have been sharing with you guys ever since we've gotten over the seer stuff and we're now on to the Freya stuff, which one can argue, Dom, they're one in the same. Hey, I get it. But really, I really feel like the seer stuff is behind us and we're now on to the Freya and everything that encompasses the Freya and the Freya Familia now. And the show has really been booning for it, and it has gotten a lot better for it. So that is a big net positive, at least for me as a viewer, and the experience that I was having with this season of Danmachi, where I just really wasn't feeling it very much. Now, with episode 8, I thought this was a very good episode, but there is one little anecdotal point that I have to point out because I feel like it's my job and my duty. And that is, you know, there's certain episodes of a lot of different anime that I tend to feel like the thing that I'm watching or the thing that is being curated to me would do much better as being a read versus a watch. Now, at the end of the day, most anime, 99, 98% of all anime tend to be adapted from a manga, a light novel, or web novel, or, you know, basically they're adapted from something that was originally written. So it makes sense a lot of the times. Now, when Bell, this episode, went on his big monologue about his 2 legs and about not giving up and about not caring if anybody doesn't remember because he remembers it. It's great. He had a really big monologue this episode, which I don't not appreciate, if that makes sense. Like, I do appreciate his monologue, but when you have characters who are monologuing for a bit of time during an episode, you can imagine that that is a much better read versus a watch. When you're watching it, even if you're watching it subbed, you know, it's being fed to you one line at a time, and you're listening / reading what the character is saying. Now, when you're reading when you're reading a light novel or when you're reading a manga and you're on your phone or however you consume that, right? You're able to read pretty quickly and get through the scene pretty quickly. So the staying power of said scene doesn't truly ever have an impact on you because you're able to skim / read quickly. Some people can't read fast, I get that, but for the most part, you're able to skim. What I'm trying to get at is that monologue portion, although appreciated, was also boring. So that was the kind of one sticking point in the episode. Now, outside of that, though, everything else surrounding that, I loved. I love Hermes kind of waking up to the fact that he's in some kind of loop and something's just really wrong. I love that he's waking up to the fact that he's left little clues and hints for himself. I love that he woke up to the fact that he needs to think without thinking, but needs to be thinking about thinking, but can't really be thinking about the situation because if he thinks too hard, his memory will get erased. And he's like, oh, crap, who could do that? Hestia is great at basically thinking with her head being empty. She's the gal. And he gets linked up with her, and she finally gives him the clue, which is, you know, create the hearth of Aurario, and that's going to basically spur these new events to begin occurring. We also found out that as Bell has continually tried to seek out Seer, that has led him to the not restaurant, but to the bar and stuff where Ryu and the girls were working. And I thought that was a really cool thing. And we finally found out that the bar owner, cafe owner, restaurant owner, whatever you call her, she's also part, just like quote unquote, I guess, just like Seer was. She's also part of the Freya Familia, but she is extended Familia because she doesn't want anything to do with them anymore. And she also was like, one of the top adventurers before as well, too. And she basically gave Belle a lot of hints that, hey, I actually remember. And she did it by simply telling him something that he said before. So I really loved that scene. And I thought that that's what really spurred Belle to finally go like, oh, shit, like, okay, yes. So I love that. I also love that he went to go seek out Ai's what's her name. And when he did that, something ingrained in her heart, her body, her soul, maybe not her mind, is telling her like, we need to go up there, we need to train, we need to go on the top of the thing, you need to rest your head on my lap. And like, I love that. And Bell was just, pouring out his emotions, because he's like, yes, this girl that I love and admire, whatever, she doesn't remember me, but like she remembers me, and like that matters even more, right? It's like if someone loses their memory, but they are still attached to you. It's like their body and their soul remembers. So I thought that was a really cool moment. And then I love the aftermath when he goes to train with Master, with Hedia, whatever his name is. He goes to go train with him, and he keeps up, like he bodies bro, and he does really, really well. Obviously, he pisses him off, but he holds his own, and he doesn't get knocked out. He doesn't get almost on death's door. He held his own this episode, and I really love that as well. There was also a bunch of other little tidbits spread throughout the episode, like Hermes screaming, "What's her name's name out?" and Wolf and his smithy, and Hestia kind of like not egging him on, but the fact that Wolf kind of remembers all of the things that happened to him too. All these little things that were sprinkled throughout the episode that were really good. And then the Freya Familia noticing that Freya has been in her own mind, second guessing the decisions that she's made, because although she's getting closer to Bell in a way, she's also losing him, because the thing that she loves and what makes Bell special is kind of the things that she's trying to erase. And as I mentioned before, I think Freya messed up by going about this and getting desperate and acting out of desperateness. And because of that, the things that make Bell who he is, the special innate thing that she's so attracted to, she's kind of trying to erase. And I really feel like if she went about this a different way, I feel like she could have made a lot more impact. But I think she's kind of screwed the pooch there. And I don't see outside of her going back to heaven, I don't really see a way out of this for Freya. And I think she's too prideful to ask for forgiveness. So, yeah. Overall, really, really great episode. I think one sour point this episode for sure, which was just the monologue, which is a little too long. Again, I can see how it works really well in a read, because I'm able to keep I'm able to pace myself, through that and kind of skim. But, when you're forced to kind of watch it, it can be a little bit boring. So overall, I think this was about an 8 out of 10 episode. Don't get me wrong. Still really good, really strong. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 9 as we continue this. Next week is called The Altar of the Sacred Flame. So we'll see on what that leads us to. All right, my friends, have a good rest of your week. Peace out.